Hey guys, Tashi here, and well, this is it. The moment you've all been waiting for. The LittleBigPlanet Astro's Playroom Retrospective. I really don't know how long this video is going to end up being, hopefully not an hour. But here we go, let's take a look at my most ambitious LittleBigPlanet project ever. You may think everything started in 2022, but not really. It actually started all the way back in the year of 2020 during the PS5 Future of Gaming showcase. That's when they announced a new tech demo game for the, at the time, lesser-known series called Astro's Playroom. And I remember seeing it at first, and I was like, I then moved on as I really was just popping off that my favorite Sackboy hero is back. And for the next 2 years, I basically turned a blind eye on the AstroBot franchise. I do have a very slim remembrance of watching DanTDM play the Playroom VR, but really, that's it. Moving on to 2022. My cousin came to visit from Africa and brought along his PS5. One day I came to visit and he wasn't there at the moment, so I sat down on the couch, a little bored. So I decided to hop on his PS5 and check out what he has up his belt. Then I noticed Astro's Playroom. Wait, isn't it that one game that was announced in that 2020 showcase? 16-year-old me thought. The other games my cousin had weren't really my type of game, so this tech demo was my only option. So I thought, let's give it a try, I guess. So I booted up the game, completed at least one world, and this game is actually fun. So I went back home and platinumed it. I was blown away by how charming and how much personality this game has. And all of this happened at the same time I recently got back into my LittleBigPlanet grind. I hopped into that game and tried to recreate AstroBot as a costume. It ended up not looking too shabby. And then I continued, recreating assets from the original tech demo onto LittleBigPlanet 3. And that right there was pretty much the birth of the project. And so, I took one grand look at my dying Sonic Adventure project and phased out for this new one. On Friday, August 19th, 2022, I posted on the LittleBigPlanet subreddit this, with the simple caption, "Should this exist?" It ended up gaining over 129 upvotes, with the majority of comments agreeing with me, ignore this guy. Then on September 15th, I shared these test renders, and finally on October 2nd, I announced on not only the subreddit, but also this cool new server that I just joined, that the project LittleBigPlanet Astro's Playroom is now in development. Now at first, I never really shared updates to it constantly like with my Sonic Adventure project. All I really did was show just a few sneak peeks, like this one from October 29th. And then the very next related post was on December 28th, nearly 2 months later, just saying that I took a 1-month break, most likely in November, from working on this project and saying that the project is not dead, while showing this cool render that I recreated. The next update I would share was on February 4th, 2023, showing off a brand new AstroBot costume design. But then, a couple of weeks later, I posted once again that I redesigned his costume design. Again. And not only that, I also restarted development for some reason. Then after one more cool render of Remake I posted on April, I posted this on May 12, 2023 on both platforms, and what's this? I'm experiencing what you may call burnout, I see. The members of both parties were supportive and obviously told me to take a break and come back stronger than ever, while also sharing their own experiences with burnout. And so I listened and paused development on LittleBigPlanet Astro's Playroom for the time being. And that was during the break of working on this project that TD Spider-Man Simulator came to be, basically ending up being a side project while I recovered. It ended up being an awful side project with the amount of issues, scrapped content, and don't even get me started with the fake promises and profile corruptions, but I already rambled about it in its own retrospective that you can watch here. LittleBigPlanet Astro's Playroom ended up being in development hell for 2 months. But on June 20th, 2023, The project is back with a brand new forum, LittleBigPlanet Astro's Playroom development post, with it being hosted on the LittleBig Workshop, which now goes by Clip's Workshop, Discord server. Development hasn't really resumed until July 11th, 2 days after TD Spider-Man Simulator was published, which I already mentioned in its retrospective, so let's just move on! So, July 11th finally hits, and it was go time! Immediately started with what would be the final and best looking costume redesign of AstroBot, along with multiple renders. July 12th. The project was restarted for a second time, so I started working on another brand new engine for the project. July 13th. The project already suffered a profile corruption when I made this idle animation. I didn't lose everything, mind you, just this idle animation. What a shame, and I was only 2 days in. July 15th. Due to minor family problems at the time, updates to the project will be slow for the time being. Already starting off rocky, are we? But we didn't need to wait long, as from July 25th to August 5th, I shared a buttload of new updates, some of which were daily. I was on a roll. Then on August 6, 2023, LBP creator Phantom Strom shouted me out on Twitter when he checked out my dev forum announcement and even tagged Sumo Digital developer Mark Hall, who ended up really liking it. It was insane. To be noticed by at least one guy who works at Sumo Digital, the guys who made LBP3 in the first place. So you know what? Let me shout you out back, Phantom Strom. Thank you for making my projects more out there. Then there wouldn't be any updates on the project again for a while, as 2 days later I would announce that I'd be going on a 10-day vacation to Dubai, which I was really excited by the way, as I was fascinated with Dubai and its skyline for a very long time. Also, side note, me and my mom got so lucky that we went to Dubai before the flooding and the drone attack happened. Just saying. And then on August 22nd, I came back to working on the project again. I'm back on the grind. From August 22nd to September 3rd, I shared quite a few updates as time went on. Then on September 14th, I wrote down and carefully planned all of the levels that will all be put together as an adventure level, since it was definitely the only clean way to do so. As you can see, a lot of these levels would have been levels from the original Astro's Playroom merged together instead of being separate. This was obviously because of the adventure levels limit to only allow 15 sub-levels. This was really the only way to try and cram them all in without it splitting into multiple. I even planned to recreate all network speedrun levels too, which was supposed to be its own adventure level too. The same day I redid some renders again, then 2 days later on the 16th, I started working on the pause menu. And for the next few days, I updated the visual look daily to the point where it was considered by, oh look, Melongard. He considered it to not even look like a LittleBigPlanet fan project anymore, just because of how so non-LBP it looks. But it wasn't the only big thing that happened that day, as at the same time, I ended up being DM'd by a LittleBigPlanet musician called Gassy Sir, who boldly asked me if he could work with me alongside the project in the music department. And I immediately said yes. And the conversation didn't even end, as he already wanted to try and compose a song, and which I recommended to try the tutorial song from the original game. We'll get back to him later. On September 27th, I announced a lightning round of updates. New renders, new face texture. The project has been going on for a year, and finally, the biggest one yet, a balancing animation for when you're standing near a ledge. When I say I was remaking Astro's Playroom in LittleBigPlanet, I meant it. It's September 30th, Gas gets back to me and shares a sneak peek to the song and... Yep. Turns out I got a really good composer in my hands now. Anyways, back to the dev forum. October 1st. That cloud thing from Memory Meadow, I ended up constantly updating it until October 5th. I didn't post any updates to the project for some time, aside from 2 promotional renders until the 14th to the 16th. I finally added the icons to the pause menu and started working on the functionality side of it now, as the visual side is done. October 19th. I showed the pause menu for the first time in motion. Also, side note again, it was around the time when I ordered an AstroBot plush and my friend Truckers dared me to yeet it to the floor the moment he was out of the box. Don't worry, he was fine afterwards. Here's a recent picture of him.
Dude, I ordered this plush like nearly 3 years ago and he still looks good. You know, he doesn't look like damaged or like old. I mean, yeah, he is old. It was 2 years ago, but like still. Hey, not too bad.
October 22nd. Puzzle pieces have been implemented not only in Engine, but also in the pause menu. October 26th. I added the restart/go here and the quit game button with both of them having no functionality yet. The very next day, I added functionality to the quit game button. Alongside this run stop animation, do you see how persistent I am? November 3rd. That was when I'm finally making the enemies. I have made them before back in late 2022, but the new version is way cleaner. So clean in fact that fellow LBP creator Aqua said this.
Give this man a prize crown. Words can't explain how incredible this is.
Then on November 5th and November 11th, I made 2 more enemies. Until November 20th, 2023, when I announced that LittleBigPlanet Astro's Playroom will be set to pause again for an indefinite amount of time. But it wasn't for the reasons you may think. That was because I started working on a new, smaller scaled level called AstroBot Fist of Rocket Rescue, which would later not only be my most polished LBP level yet, but would also later win a team pick and rose not only itself in popularity, but my other project too. Development would slowly resume in January 2024, with me apologizing for the lack of updates since with the servers down at the time, it kinda killed my will to continue for a little bit. But finally, after being on a hiatus for nearly 3 months, on February 11th, 2024, I uploaded my now most public viewed video announcing that the project made its grand return and development will resume once more. And the very next day I would confirm that claim by showing off a couple of the enemy variants that will be in different levels. Not only that, I also finally implemented the iconic level switching transition thingy. And one more thing all in the same day, the sliding mechanic for the start of the Bot Beach level. You can tell that soon enough, I'm finally about to start working on the actual levels itself. February 15th, I started working on the power-up suits, starting with the ball suit. I sadly couldn't add the zipping function because that would have been a bit complicated. But at the very least, I added the skidding function and the idle animation, complete with the little wave. I then would go silent for weeks again. I would upload another promotional render on March 23rd, however. But then, on April 1st, 2024, I would make the heart-wrenching announcement that LittleBigPlanet Astro's Playroom is cancelled due to a sudden and extremely game-breaking profile corruption that erased all of my life's work. Wait a minute! It was posted on April 1st. It was an April Fool's joke. But for some reason, I decided to keep playing the joke, being ominous or whatever, until April 10th, when whoopsie daisy, it was all an April Fool's Day joke all along. While the Clamps Workshop server obviously took the joke well, on the other hand, the subreddit did not at all. And I don't blame them because this April Fool's joke was poorly planned. Then the next day, I would upload a now deleted post to the subreddit basically saying, okay, I'm sorry that my April Fool's joke was ass, please forgive me. This entire bit would end up aging absolutely horribly as on April 19th, 2024. Due to ongoing technical issues which resulted in the LittleBigPlanet 3 server for PS4 being taken offline temporarily in January 2024, the decision has been made to keep the servers offline indefinitely. All online services, including access to other players' creations for LittleBigPlanet 3, are no longer available. User-generated content stored locally on your PS4 will remain available. Any new UGC you create can be played on your PS4. And now, LittleBigPlanet Astro's Playroom is dead for good. This April Fool's joke that I made up ended up aging so badly, it's quite honestly very depressing. LittleBigPlanet is now gone for good. No other server is up. Every single one of them are down forever. All of this work was for nothing. All nearly 2 years of blood, sweat, and profile corruptions was for absolutely nothing. On April 28th, 2024, A day after my birthday, I would close the dev forum on the Clamps Workshop Discord server, ceasing development altogether. And now, what's next? It wouldn't be the last time I would talk about my Astro's Playroom project, as on May 20th, I would end up showing everything I've made for the project so far. And after that, nothing. The only game I would play ever since late 2021 was LittleBigPlanet 3, and now with it partly gone, I have nothing else to play. And so, I moved on and migrated to Roblox ever since. But then, on the PlayStation State of Play of May 2024, Team Asobi would end up announcing a full-fledged platformer called AstroBot. And this game would end up boosting the franchise's popularity immensely. Which, speaking of, I never mentioned it until now, but my plan before AstroBot became such a big thing in 2024 and beyond was to use my project and introduce AstroBot to more people because, again, at the time, AstroBot wasn't really that well known in the public eye. But now with this new official game, Team Asobi basically kinda did what I would have done, and it was to boost AstroBot's popularity. But unfortunately, the game also had a bad case of bad timing, as it would have caused nearly the entirety of the LBP community to attack and harass the AstroBot community for basically replacing them. I really do not want to get into that stuff, as I've made a small rant video about it. And to confirm if my last words end up being true or not, now no, there hasn't been an LBP4 announced nor confirmed, but I could confidently say that the AstroBot hate has died down quite a bit, I think. And before I wrap it up, I would like to shout out Video, I think that's how you pronounce their name, real quick for being like, what, so talented? Like, look at this stuff. This right there is what LittleBigPlanet Astro's Playroom only dreamed it could have been. Now, okay, yes, these bosses are not from the game I'm directly remaking of, but you get my point. I recommend you all to follow this talented individual, and who knows what other stuff they have planned in the future. LittleBigPlanet Astro's Playroom, a project that definitely had the slimmest chance out of all my LBP projects to be completed. This project ended up being my longest LBP related production I ever faced. Now with it being 2 years since the servers went off, what if the servers never went off? What if they were still up beyond 2026? Would the project still be in the works till this day? Probably. I mean, considering the state it was in 2024, I highly doubt I would have even met a late 2025 release date. Despite everything that happened that time, I still stuck around the AstroBot franchise. I bought the game and platinumed it when it came out, and even started a fun Discord server called AstroBot Central. Now about the servers. After the original servers went down, fans went and created their own custom servers to keep the franchise alive. And I had constant comments telling me to just migrate here. But the thing is, I just can't. I have no PC to emulate and no PS3 to jailbreak. And plus, I just had zero interest in bringing this project back just to keep working on it on a server which would definitely house way less players. And then there's LBP Online, an upcoming custom server for LBP3 that would be compatible on both PS4 and PS5 in the future. Does that mean that maybe I can make my grand return to LBP? No. First off, it's been nearly 2 years since, and I've moved on from it completely. Even after the constant comments I would get just begging me to reconsider and continue in custom servers. And second, I'm nearly 20 years old! I started this project back when I was 16. And let me tell you, a 16-year-old has way more freedom than a 20-year-old. And that's why ever since April 2024, I consider myself a retired and former LittleBigPlanet curator. And that project was LittleBigPlanet Astro's Playroom. Thank you so much for watching. This video has been teased and announced 2 years ago now, and it's finally out. The last of the 4 retrospectives I announced, and they're all finally here together. And now, just like I said on my Thank You LittleBigPlanet video, what's next for me now that all of my LittleBigPlanet related videos are finished? I don't know.